You are listening to The Fatboy Show on RX Radio. And we're coming to you from Kampala, Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. I can't remember who called us the Pearl of Africa. Was it some king?
And then Livingstone, John Speak, one of those people, one of those explorers.
No, it was Churchill.
Churchill.
Winston Churchill.
What? He had a way with words.
The Pearl of Africa is
cool
what he called us. Okay.
Before we became this.
Before we became whatever we are now. I wonder what he'd call us now.
Bronze token of
Yeah.
Africa. I don't know. We're still a beautiful country though. No lie.
We are.
Naturally.
And you'll appreciate that when you leave that country.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, aside from missing home and missing people, there's a certain flair to Uganda that's quite charming and nice.
Uganda is one of the few places where you can do almost anything. Like, so I've traveled the world a bit, and Uganda, we don't have a law against public drinking.
We don't have a law against public drinking.
Yes, like public drinking is you're walking on the street with a beer or a bottle of something, or you're sitting in a car by the roadside. Even if you're not the driver, you have a beer in your hand. I met that one in Johannesburg in like 2010.
So it's against the law to do that in Johannesburg?
It's against the law to do that in a lot of places. Drinking is assigned to the
Wait,
pub.
but of all the
and
laws
your home.
of all the laws you like in Uganda, that's the one you pick?
I'm a patriot. We are ranking number 1 in alcohol consumption. I'm here to do my civic duty, man.
Okay, even though I love Uganda, I must say, and this is a confession, there is another country that's a bit close to my heart.
Oh.
And sometimes I feel like I'd rather be there than here. And this would be the country of my birth, which is Japan.
I knew it.
So and if you were to ask me if I could change my citizenship to which country would I want to go to, or which country would I want to be a citizen of, it would probably be Japan, if you asked me.
Oh, why?
Because, well, I was born there, so my childhood, formative years spent there. I have a lot of memories. I'm connected culturally, spiritually. My energy just coincides with the kind of energy that's there, and in a way it kind of makes me feel like a fish out of water here sometimes. There are times I feel like a stranger even in my own country, because there's just a way I look at situations that it seems a bit alien, and some people have pointed that out.
It has been happening for a while.
It has, right? So for me it would be Japan. What about you? If you could be a citizen of another country besides Uganda, what would it be?
I'm keeping it close, man.
Rwanda.
I would gladly change my citizenship to Rwanda.
Well, would you even need a visa to go to Rwanda?
You don't even need a visa. You don't even need a passport. ID is enough.
So why would you want to be? So you don't even need to be a citizen. You can just travel there and enjoy the benefits.
I can travel there and enjoy the benefits, but there's something I like about Rwanda: the strictness.
The strictness.
There's order. And you know what's funny is when you travel as a comedian, you tell them these things and they think it's a joke. Like, in Rwanda, they actually respect zebra crossings, right?
Right.
And I told them one of the best ways to identify a Ugandan is look for the guy who's running across the zebra crossing. Because the average Rwandan, the moment you step on that zebra crossing, all vehicles stop.
Interesting.
In Uganda, the moment you step on that zebra crossing, be ready to die.
No one cares.
No one cares.
I can't remember which comedian it was. Was it Omondi from Kenya who, or some Kenyan comedian was describing his experience in Uganda and in Rwanda. And obviously, his perspective of life in Uganda and Rwanda were quite different and hilarious, because obviously he shared many truths about life here and life there and life in Kenya also. So I do think there's ways in which we're different, ways in which we are unique, and as a comedian, I guess that's something for you to have fun with.
Yeah, and I would like to be in a country that's kind of similar. Well, there's at least 3 languages there that I could pick up. There's Swahili, I've learned some French,
How about you just be honest and tell us it's just the women?
Also that. I was coming to that. Let me finish. But yeah, I just find Rwanda to be an amazing place, generally. The view from... You could get the cheapest house and it's a view on a hill.
In Rwanda.
In Kigali. Like, it's just the most... There's hills everywhere.
I've never, visited. I've only ever stopped, for 2 seconds on a flyover or a airport thing, but not really ever gotten off the plane and toured the place. Never done it.
I've had fun in Rwanda, and for me personally, I mean, Japan would be a nice second option.
Yeah.
Personally, but it would take a lot more for me to adjust to Japanese culture than it would for me to adapt.
Yeah,
to Rwanda.
probably.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep it close to home, and also I have a place in case of emergency. I just move next door.
Why not South Sudan? Culturally, speaking of what's close to home.
Is it because I'm black? Huh? Is it because I'm black?
In South Sudan, you be a Chotara. You're half caste in South Sudan. If you go to Juba,
I'm Navio.
Chicks looking at you like, yo, look at that yellow boy.
Look at him, banana man. Mr. Bogoya.
So yeah, so you better hit Juba. But from the pictures I see and videos, yo, that place needs some work.
Juba needs a lot of work, but if you're in the right circles of Juba, it's the most fun.
Juba
place
looks
to be.
like what Gulu looked like in 1987.
Yeah. Way back.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just full of old buildings, not really... I don't know. It just looks like a messy place. And I don't mean this in a bad way, and I'm not throwing shade. It's just, yo, someone needs to fix that place up.
It's getting fixed slowly, but you're going to find, the good stuff sprinkled, like, in random places.
The rich people places.
Hey, if you're the right people, you're like one of the
But is
safest
that true?
people.
Because I know Ugandans who refuse to rent their houses to wealthy South Sudanese.
To be fair.
Because a lot of them that are here have money. They are either politicians or relatives of politicians who have stolen all the money from South Sudan. And then they come here and then they rent properties in the suburbs, or sometimes they purchase houses and so forth. And obviously they're welcome to stay here and find life here, of course. But I've heard more than one person tell me, South Sudanese tenants, man. I was told of one horror story of a landlord who evicted a tenant because, first of all, there was like 50 people living in the bungalow he rented out.
Yeah.
He found that they had taken the bathtub out of the bathroom and converted it into a fourth bedroom. And I think they had buried someone in the living room.
That's better than the one where they just put the mattress in the bathtub and the pillow and gave the guy a blanket. Just don't turn on the water.
So I don't know if that's a cultural thing or is this just bigotry? Are these just stereotypes?
I think it's like how if you're going to deal with Indians, you know there's going to be a bunch of them in the house. But I guess there's more structure on the Indian side.
All right.
Yeah, with the South Sudanese, and from what I've experienced with this, because I had several landladies say the same thing back in the day, of they will bring anyone who's supposed to live with them.
Right.
With Indians, it's more like, come here, get a job, work.
Okay.
With the Juba people, the South Sudanese, it's more like, yeah, we are family, just come. So you find someone brought from the village, who's going to take a dump. There's no toilet paper. Write his name on the walls and stuff. Deng was here.
Wow.
But yeah, it's not supposed to be a bad thing. It's just when you mix that with modernity, you're going to have
So
problems.
it comes from a good place, just that it kind of clashes with modern standards.
Yes, you can't have 50 people in a 4-bedroom bungalow and expect that house to survive and be well. I'm sorry.
Woo,
But
South Sudan.
Not the citizenship I would take up. I'm very happy visiting.
All right,
it's
then.
more fun that way.
Well, you can tell us if you could change your citizenship, which country would it be and where would you want to go? Let us know. And do keep listening to The Fatboy Show on RX Radio.